Ahoy there, Oscar geeks. It is I, the convicted cinephile. Don't mind my very red forehead. With here with Tim, who was nice enough. We had a nice little like BS session last Oscar season about all the nominees and winners, and we just haven't done that this year. So I figured I'd invite him on to this, and it worked out. So thanks for doing this with me, Tim.
My pleasure. I'm excited for tonight, man.
Yeah, this time we'll be talking about winners as opposed to nominees. I think last time it was right after the nominations came out.
Yep.
And I have on screen right there, my Gold Derby predictions / here's what's nominated. So we can both reference that as we go, because I remember most of them, but even my ridiculous brain can't remember all of them. I'm going to pop into the comments just for a second here to say thanks for showing up. Number one fan, Tiana's here. Awesome. Thank you, Tiana. Love having you here as always. Collector Movie Man is here. You get to cover up Tim's face with all these comments. All in Oats. It is the Oscars again already. I know, right? It takes so long for them to come, and then all of a sudden it's already Oscar season like a week later.
Yep.
Caprice is here. Thanks for coming. All right, that's everyone saying howdy to everybody.
Howdy.
And Eli Cortez, what is up? What is up to you, sir? Thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, this is just like a little, like I said, this is nothing special. We're just gonna shoot the shit about what we think is gonna win and what we hope is gonna win, and maybe some like dark horse winners and like hope dictions, as I call them, like things we hope win that probably don't really have a chance of winning, or maybe that do, but a very slim chance.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of the stuff I want. Is has almost no chance. But
well, yours will be more interesting than possible. Yeah. We'll knock a couple of easy ones out of the way first, because I'm just going top to bottom here. Best picture. What do you think's gonna win, Tim?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Oppenheimer's gonna win.
Is it gonna be a Sweepenheimer kind of a night? I think
it's gonna win a lot. It's gonna win a lot.
Yeah.
I do for the dark horse though. I would love Holdovers to pull a spotlight and just sneak in there. And I feel it's probably number 2 or 3 on a lot of ballots.
Yeah.
It's still Oppenheimer's to win easily.
I think it's definitely top 5 regardless. Because yeah, like what you're seeing on the right side of the screen, that's the Gold Derby like odds.
Yeah.
In order. And I agree with it for the most part.
That bums me out though, seeing Past Lives all the way down at last.
Yeah, at number 10. Yeah. I honestly think it would have a better chance of winning than Maestro. And I'm one of the 4 people who actually liked Maestro, but it's still my number 10 on my list, and I like the movie.
Yeah.
So it shows you how much other people like it.
Oh god, I adored Past Lives, but yeah, I knew I had no chance, like none.
Yeah, it got in. That's the cool thing. Like it has a snowball's chance in hell of winning screenplay, but that's about it. Yeah, I'd love Holdovers to win. Apparently, it's like potentially plagiarized, though. Have you seen that news story that just broke like yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, apparently there was a screenwriter who wrote a script that was like identical, essentially, to Holdovers, that Alexander Payne had read multiple times in the past.
Ooh.
And then all of a sudden he made Holdovers with some other writer. So people are suspicious that he like hired another writer to essentially rewrite this other movie. And then, apparently it's been behind the scenes since like January. So even if it did end up winning something, it would probably end up looking really bad. So that sucks it sucks for that writer too, because I wonder how much he was in on it if it was a thing. But apparently it seems pretty legitimate based on like the sources I've seen so far. But who knows? It's convenient that it came out the day before the Oscars, but it's not like it could affect voting or anything. So
yeah,
whatever. There.
That is really crummy though.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a shitty thing to do. Yeah. Like either way, the movie's good, so I still like it. Yeah, the thing that always usually the second place thing, or the thing that can sneak in, is always the thing that wins screenplay, assuming Oppenheimer doesn't. And I think that's going to be like Anatomy of a Fall over Holdovers. So, but seeing that as like the number 2 pick is odd to me. Same thing goes for what I think is going to win for adapted screenplay. Oh, we'll get to that when we get to that. And And best director is an easy conversation as well. It's
It's
finally
Nolan all the way. It's
Christopher Nolan's guaranteed Oscar win, even if it
yeah.
miraculously loses Best Picture. He's still going to win Best Director, I think, and so does everybody else. So
I mean, Nolan. Essentially, when they started announcing people, Nolan could just start walking up to the stage. It's his. No one else has a chance.
yeah, and he's won literally everything essentially that matters. Mainly DGA, and Oppenheimer winning PGA, same difference there. Who would be your second play? Like if Christopher Nolan didn't exist here, who would you pick for your best director pick to win?
So, because I didn't get the Zone yet, because I didn't make it to theater, and they only put the thing up as a dang purchase and not a rental yet.
Mm.
I would go Yorgos, but
Sure, yeah.
Glazer could be if I saw Zone. Like you said, Zone would be totally a me movie.
Yeah, I would honestly, Glazer would be my pick out of them. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the one I was lucky and actually saw in theaters. I ended up just buying American Fiction and the other day, and I rented Anatomy of a Fall. But yeah, out of all of the rest, Yorgos, it would be, yeah, he's up there too, for sure. But I think just like based on the way the story's told specifically, like the vision of the movie, I would 100% go with Jonathan Glazer for Zone of Interest because yeah, that's a film right there. Yeah, you'd
It's
like
cool.
it. I'd be hard pressed if you didn't like that movie. I'd be very surprised.
It is cool though. Yorgos actually met the writer of the book a couple of times in person with the
Oh,
passion to
nice.
try to adapt it. He's the one that pursued adapting that. I thought
Oh,
that
that's
was pretty
cool.
cool. And the writer was like 90, like 89 or 90 or something like that. And
Oh,
he's
geez, I didn't
yeah,
realize it was that old of a thing. I guess
yeah.
is the book called Poor Things or is it called something else? I can't remember.
It's Poor Things in bookstores now. I don't know if it was ever one of those changed titles. You know how they
Oh,
do
okay,
that stuff sometimes. But
gotcha.
yeah, it's I thought that was kind of cool though. It's not just something that came on Yorgos's lap. He's like, no, I want to do this.
That's cool. Yeah, you can tell it's definitely something he wanted to do. It's probably my favorite movie of his that I've seen. Actually, no, it is for sure. Out of like the four that I've seen, and I
I know
like
it's
most of them.
Tony's favorite.
Yeah, everyone you either love it or you hate it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Poor Things. It's my wife's favorite out of all of them too this year because we saw all 10 of them together. So, all right, on to your favorite category since it's right here. Best actress.
Oh man.
I have Lily Gladstone winning. 80% of that is because of SAG momentum and it SAG being the last thing before the Oscars. But I would vote for Emma Stone if I was voting. I'll say that. And you probably agree with that.
I 100% agree. I would vote Emma. Uh, I still, I'm still gonna go with Emma. This is a 50-50 shot. I think either way. Uh, I'm still gonna go with Emma. Damn it. That performance is so freaking good. Yeah, I feel like you could just flip a coin on which one has better odds. I don't care what Gold Derby says. I feel like they're 50-50. So I'm going Emma.
Yeah, well, even out here, they're damn near 50-50.
Yeah.
I just remember that, yeah, the whole supporting actress, lead actress thing. I'm like, it worked apparently. So good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. If
Either way.
Lily wasn't in this though, she did go supporting. This would be just Emma's to just walk away with.
Yeah, most likely. And, and then Margot Robbie maybe would have got nominated.
And she wouldn't
I
have
think,
she would have just been there essentially. I don't think she would have had
yeah.
any chance. Though I will
Sandra
say
Hüller is really good too.
since
I actually like all these nominees because like I like you said you're not a huge Maestro person, but it's like I liked it enough. But I thought Carey Mulligan was like the best part of Maestro, so I
yeah,
really like that she got nominated.
I really didn't like the movie, but yes, Carrie was damn good. Did you get around to Naiad yet?
Oh, that's the one I had to keep passing on because I kept trying to see the Best Picture ones instead. It's
So
on Netflix. I can watch it at any time. That's the easy one. I can just go and watch whenever.
I
I
thought
figured.
Annette Bening was great. I think she got too much, I guess, crap from people because in
Yeah,
that fifth slot, she was damn good and totally deserving. But Naiad just flew so under the radar for people that it's just like, oh, well, she got in for this movie no one watched.
yeah. I mean, she's great and she's always good. So it just I don't know. She's like the old like the old folks in the Academy would like go for her more so than the rest of them. Like she's like the old Academy
He's
votes.
the old fogey vote.
Yeah, even though she's like not like crazy old or anything. But yeah, that's the one super exciting acting race. That's for sure. Is
That's the
best
race of
actor.
the night. That's a
Yeah, out of everything that there's like only one other category that's more wide open, I'd say, than that one. Most things are like it's down to two. So, all right, best actor. I have Killian. I begrudgingly have Killian over Paul Giamatti, who, if he wins, I will poop my pants in happiness. Other than that, I'd be all five of these guys are great, so I'm happy either way. But
so,
Killian winning is outstanding. But I would vote for Paul because I love me some Paul. How about you?
you and I are exactly in the same boat there. Killian will be part of the Oppenheimer steamroll. He was fantastic. Giamatti's performance, though, is like I would be thrilled with him winning it, but
Hmm.
also very happy for Killian winning. Like he's great. So I could go either way, but it'll be Killian realistically.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, there's probably like a 75% chance at least. If once you win SAG and BAFTA, it's pretty rare to lose the Oscar.
I gotta say too for Giamatti, that eye thing was really cool to keep that going all movie. Like the lazy eye he did in
Yeah.
Holdovers. I thought that was really cool. I don't know how him and like Skarsgård and people do that stuff. Like
Did he
that's
actually do that, or was it like
yeah.
a glass eye thing?
No, I read it was actually him doing that.
Oh, weird. It's funny. I mean, I have
That's
a
cool.
lazy eye, but I can't do it that well. That's cool. That's funny. I didn't know that. But yeah, that's something. I never even thought of that. But yeah, Paul Giamatti definitely like hits you, at least for me. Like he hit me in the feels more than Killian did, but that's just kind of how the movie is.
Pretty much once everyone else leaves, it's pretty standard run of the mill up until those all the rest of the kids leave, and then when it becomes the
Yep.
core trio, the movie just takes off, and it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's so good. I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch all these because I've only seen all of them once. Funny
Holdovers
enough.
will become one of those Christmas Thanksgiving rotation movies for us, I think.
For sure. Yeah. That's another one I had just bought like digitally because I didn't know it was going to be out on Blu-ray so damn soon because it didn't say anything about it. Then like 3 days later, it's like, it's coming next week. It's like, what? Where did that come from? But yeah. I love that people always were saying like Paul Giamatti's so overdue, which he is, but they were like treating him like he's 95 years old or something like that.
He has no other chance.
Yeah. And it's like, Cillian Murphy's only like 8 or 9 years younger than him. And he's been in movies for like at least 20 to 30 years too. And Jeffrey Wright's older than Paul Giamatti. It's funny. I don't know.
It's
They're
cool
making him
seeing
seem like some old codger. I'm like, no, like he's not that old. You just like him a lot, and he's been in a lot of stuff you've seen over the past 30 years.
Giamatti
So
should have won for Shoot 'Em Up.
yeah, yeah. Should have won for Sideways, but he wasn't nominated. Bastards. Uh, all right, on to the. Let's see. I'm going to pop back into the comments here before I lose myself.
Yeah, lots of people over there.
Like Eminem. Oppenheimer will probably win everything besides production design, and will it even win costume? Well, I don't think it'll win those two. Those are like the two things that probably won't win. Out of everything, I'd say those are the two least likely things.
And
But
it's
the
not
Oscars like
it's
their men in suits movies once in a while. You never
yeah,
know.
it's not the categories it deserves to win either. It's not
Yeah,
it's not
like it deserves to be nominated, but doesn't deserve to win those things. Poor things for all the sloppy things. Poor thing is sloppy. That is for dang sure. What is up to you, sir?
Howdy.
The book is Poor Things with a colon and 30 more words. Yeah, that's what I figured. It was probably a really long subtitle or something like that. Collector Movie Man wants Lily to win. I'd be totally fine with that. Just the whole like screen time ratio thing is her biggest hurdle for most people.
I just this is a sticking point for me. If people are voting for her, though, please let it be because they legit thought she was the best
Yeah.
performance and not a narrative pick. I can't stand narrative picks. That's what Jamie Lee Curtis was last year. She was a narrative
Yeah.
pick. I'm not a fan of those. I'm really not.
Yeah, when that's like most of the voting reason, yeah. Like Jamie Lee Curtis, honestly, I think that's like all of it. Like Lily Gladstone, like I really, really liked her in it. She's just really subtle. It's like that's why it's cool that Killian's probably going to win because it's such a subtle performance to win, and those are pretty rare. So to have two of those in one year is cool.
Yeah.
Because like, who am I thinking of? Like Casey Affleck winning was awesome for that reason. Like I love that. Laren is here talking Oscars. Thank you
Howdy.
for coming, sir. And a big question here. I gotta try to read. Did you like what I picked up? Oh, we did not. So at least I didn't. What happened to your WandaVision? Oh, didn't you get like all the same discs or something? I think I saw. I did see that. He ordered the WandaVision steelbook, and they gave him all the same, the wrong, or two of the same disc.
Yeah, sometimes that
It
stuff happens.
happens. Hey, Cody, what's up? Dude loves movies. Yeah, don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. Let's do that
Absolutely.
indeed. Lepke Vision, Phil. The only Oscar movie he's seen is Barbie.
It's
Oh,
a
well, that's
fun
good.
one though to see.
Everyone's seen that one. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Barbie is a lot of fun though. It's a
Yeah,
lot of
Barbie's fun.
and
That's
people have no excuse this year to say the Oscars don't touch the popular stuff because they
right.
damn well touched the popular stuff. I mean,
Like,
some of the best performing movies of the entire year are up for Oscars.
yeah, like essentially the biggest thing that happened in movies, Barbenheimer itself
Yeah.
is nominated for like over 20 Oscars combined. Well, you just finished Sideways. It's so good.
Nice. I should have
I love
picked up. I thought I owned the Blu-ray, and apparently I only owned the DVD. I went out hunting recently, and there was a Blu-ray copy at a Goodwill inside one of those like crummy Blockbuster cases. I passed
Sure.
on it. It turns out that the thing is that's actually like out of print and worth like 50-60 bucks. I'm like, damn, I should have picked that up because I need the Blu-ray copy.
Oh, I'm glad I have it then. I think I found it randomly at like Target for like $6 or something. Ben Grimm is here. He's come a long way since Pig Vomit and the Howard Stern movie, Private Parts. I just remember seeing him like for the first time, and God, it had to be Truman Show. He was in it for like 3 seconds. Like he's one of like the behind the scenes guys with Ed Harris. And then he was in Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey the next year, and he's amazing in Man on the Moon. I love that.
That's a
Mostly
good one.
one of the reasons I love that movie so much. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for popping in here. How's it
Howdy.
going? Lots of people saying hi. Really liked I liked American Fiction a lot too. Did you have a chance
Yes,
to see that one, Tim?
that and Zone are the only ones I didn't get around to.
Yeah, I don't blame you for the. Yeah, I ended up just buying American Fiction digitally because I was like, whatever, I need to see it. But yeah, that one was probably the most pleasantly surprised by any of them I was. Like, I liked it more than I expected. It made me laugh harder than anything has in a long time. Specifically, one part I want to like. It's hard
I mean,
out of context. It's not funny, so I can't even explain it. But if you'd seen the movie, I would tell you. So
Jeffrey
yeah, that
Wright's
movie was
great.
way better than I thought it'd be. The ending kind of fumbles a bit for me, but other than that, I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I like Jeffrey Wright a lot. Once I can buy it, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way, but I was like, I need to see it. It's gonna stream on like MGM Plus, which I didn't even know was a thing until I saw that announcement. And then, but it's not until like a couple days after the Oscars, I think. So it's like this
Yeah.
whole thing.
So, personal pet peeve. I really wish the studios did a little bit more to make the stuff more easily accessible for people before the Oscars, because
Right.
it's slightly a turnoff to just say an average Joe wants to tune in. Hey, this movie that I really didn't get a whole lot of opportunity to see is up for Oscars. Like American Fiction, like barely even came to my theaters. So it was like, oh, well, you digitally purchased this thing, or you're just not watching it, I guess.
Yeah. Most of them played, I think, pretty well by me. Like I saw Zone of Interest in theaters. A lot of people didn't have that around them. I was surprised. So I'm glad I got to see that when I did. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have had a chance to see it because I don't even think you can even buy it digitally yet. Maybe
Yeah,
not. You can.
it's $20, but it goes for rental on the freaking 12th. So Tuesday.
Oh,
Like,
well,
come
there
on.
you
Like, come
go.
on. After you couldn't have done it the Tuesday before the Oscars, you do it the Tuesday after. Come on.
Exactly. Like because American Fiction it's an Amazon movie, but they're not putting it on Amazon Prime, and then they're putting it on MGM Plus after the Oscars. It's like, why didn't you put it on MGM or Prime, Amazon Prime, whatever, the week of Oscar voting? That way, everyone could see it, including Oscar voters who haven't seen it in theaters. I don't know, stupid.
That's why I like at least Disney put up Poor Things on Hulu. What, last week? Like
The
that's cool.
7th or something, but yeah, at least they did it in time, right? By a few days. They tried at least. Points for that. Caveman's here. How you doing, bud?
Howdy.
Thanks for popping in here. All right, where were we here? Oh yeah, we'll plow through these. Supporting actress, Divine Joy Randolph, because no one else is
There,
nominated,
there is
and
yeah. There's no one else in that category. It's hers.
pretty much. Like, did a stream with Tracy the other day, and we were talking about how bad this category is if you take her out of it. I'm like, not that they're bad, because I like everything I've seen. I just think it is such a weak category. It's sad because I'm like, yeah, it's kind of too bad Lily Gladstone wasn't there. This one would be a lot better.
Well, even like so, like I like America Ferrera. She got nominated essentially for the monologue.
Right.
That I mean,
Excellent.
that's what it's for. Emily Blunt is good, but I've seen Emily Blunt be way better. She's there in Oppenheimer. She's good, but
Yeah. She has
yeah,
like a couple really good scenes towards the end of it. Other than that, she's just kind of there.
yeah,
And she's really overdue for a nomination, so I'm glad she finally got one. But if Oppenheimer wasn't as huge as it is, I don't think she would have gotten nominated. She's
yeah,
definitely like a coattail nomination.
yep.
And Jodie Foster, who doesn't love Jodie Foster? I hear she's better than Annette Bening. I honestly thought she had a better chance than Annette Bening getting in. They just ended up both getting in.
It is so. I always find this funny because you essentially you're deciding what's act or actress versus supporting actress. They're deciding
Hmm.
what's best to run in. Those two are in like equal. Like they're dead split. They're in the whole movie together. So
Sure.
it's funny how like Annette Bening, I guess, got the slight to go into that because she's playing the actual character of Naiad.
Titular character of the movie. Yeah.
Jodie is her character's there the whole way, like, and she's super important to everything that's happening in the whole movie. So I guess it's good that they went that way instead of the Poor Things route of multiple in the same category just crossing each other out. And you have no chance.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
That's I miss the days when they used to have multiple best actor nominees in the same category. Like they just don't do it at all anymore. I think the
yeah,
last time they did it was Amadeus.
yeah, like,
And one of them won, so it's not like they ruins it for the other guy. But
but
there's
for
like
like
no way of not nominating those two guys in that category. Like when you look back on that specific ones, like who are you going to put in supporting? The guy who's telling the story or the guy who the movie's about?
yeah,
Like, there's no way of doing it. It would have been like if Tim Robbins got into supporting actor for Shawshank or something. Like you have to put them both in lead because one's literally telling you the story, which is Morgan Freeman, and then the lead character was Andy Dufresne. So that would have been another example where they'd have to both be in lead. Otherwise, it'd be ridiculous.
if like for actor of supporting, if they figured their stuff out between Ruffalo and Defoe, maybe there could have been I mean, neither one would have had a chance at winning, but like they kept canceling each other out or flip flopping at different awards, which I
Yeah,
found quite funny. Like you guys should have tried to figure it out, I guess, a little bit more. Because like Ruffalo, I could see Ruffalo in supporting. Like there's big chunks he's not really there, but then I guess same goes for Defoe. There's
yeah,
chunks that he's not there too. So
yeah. Ruffalo's in more of it, so like he could make a bad argument that he could be lead, but it would just be then he probably would have never got nominated though if he was. Is the
yeah.
thing. So they did it the right way. So kudos for not trying to screw him out, one of them out of it. Just worked out for Mark. The Oscars like him. I mean, the Oscars like both of them a lot. That's why they've both been nominated like the same amount of times in the same category. I think 4 times in supporting actor. Uh, and
But either way, that's Robert
speaking of
Downey.
supporting actor, Robert Downey Jr. is going to
Yeah, that's
win, which is great. See, he's the perfect kind of overdue legacy win. Like I've been saying that all year. Like it's a great actor who's overdue, who's been around for decades, but he's in the right movie at the right time for amazing performance that you can't like look back on it in 20 years and be like, "Ugh, we gave it to him for that."
yeah.
Perfect example. So very
So
happy he'll be winning tonight.
who would you put in second? Like who would you personally want as second?
Um, I really liked Mark Ruffalo a lot, but I thought Robert De Niro was the best part of Killers. So it'd be one of those two. I don't know if I could decide. I might give it to Mark just because he's so damn hilarious. I'll give
He's
him the
very
edge.
good.
I give
Yeah,
him the edge, and he doesn't have an Oscar, so I'll give it to Mark for that reason. But I thought Robert De Niro was great, so I'm glad he got in.
yeah. I
Leonardo
I'd
DiCaprio.
go with Mark. I love Ryan Gosling. I would have never voted for him and to be in the supporting at all. I
Right,
would have. I'd vote for him for many other movies, not necessarily Barbie.
right. He's hilarious. Like he's pitch perfect in the movie. Like he does it great. But yeah, that's not a thing I would give an Oscar to, which kind of sucks because it's like, oh, it's too goofy, and that's kind of how your brain works when you're thinking about stuff like that. But it's just I don't know. Certain comedies are different. Like Paul Giamatti and Holdovers. Like that's a comedy you can give an Oscar to, and it doesn't feel weird.
Yeah.
Like even though it's supporting, I think Barbie's. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to win then. But on to the screenplays. These are interesting because they could go multiple ways, but it seems pretty dead set which way they're going now. Adapted screenplay, unless Oppenheimer just wins freaking everything it possibly can, it seems like it's going to go to American Fiction, which is good because that'll win something, and that's awesome. And the script is hilarious, so I'm super happy with that winning that. Honestly, what do you got for that one?
Uh, because I didn't see American Fiction, it's tough. Like my mind says Oppenheimer because I saw Oppenheimer, but I know
Right,
there is a lot of momentum behind the screenplay of American Fiction.
facts.
I, God, I
Is
wish
that
I
the one
saw
you'd pick? Is that the one you would pick to win, or is that just what you think would win?
that. I'm still going Oppenheimer. I'm just gonna go with the steamroll on that.
It's gonna everything everywhere and just win everything. That
Only
even though it's
because
nominated.
it's hard to like. I don't know because I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the two you haven't seen are both in this category, I guess.
Yeah, that in original I saw them all.
Yeah, it's funny. Poor Things would be a good winner too, I think. I would on if it was an American Fiction, like if that loses and I'm wrong, I would prefer it go to Poor Things just because I would like that to win something bigger than a craft category if Emma Stone doesn't end up winning.
Yeah,
But yeah, honestly, the only thing I wouldn't want to win here is Barbie, to be honest. Because I like Barbie, but the screenplay is not my favorite thing about it. But that's just me, I guess. Everyone
yeah.
else seems to love it.
I'm gonna mark Oppenheimer though on my sheet though. I'm going with it.
Going for the Sweepenheimer. It's going to win
Yeah,
everything. It could easily. Like it's the only reason I'm not is because like, well, BAFTA went for American Fiction, and it's the only thing it even nominated, and they gave everything else to Oppenheimer and Zone of Interest, and they still gave it to American Fiction. So that just shows that it's strong as hell in that category, and it's about a writer, and it's about making movies to an extent, so that always helps. And another movie that's about a writer is Anatomy of a Fall, and that's probably going to win screenplay, original screenplay. So both
yeah.
screenplay winners are about writers to some extent, which is funny.
Anatomy of Fall is totally deserving of it. I mean, I have a super soft spot for Past Lives, and I think the screenplay is brilliant. But Anatomy is so well told as well. So
Hmm. It
yeah,
is good. Yeah. I really need to watch that one again because I
the
feel like I watched it too late at night, where I was kind of like
the way the
zoning out it slightly. Luckily, most of it's in English, so I didn't have to like pay too hard attention. It's a very simple movie for the most
yeah.
part. Anatomy of a Fall, which is like I think why a lot of people like it so much. It's not. It's very accessible, and everyone loves murder mystery things, and that's what it is.
So my only knock, and I haven't heard anyone else really mention this, but like the whole movie, I like how it ends where you still don't quite know if she did it or not. Like she got, well, I'm not going to say anything, but when the son is watching the TV, I think it should have ended there.
Mm.
Like he's watching the TV, seeing what happens, and then I think it should have cut. It goes on for like what 10 more minutes after that.
Oh, I can't remember how much longer it goes
It was
on.
probably about 10 more minutes. I think it should have just stopped. I didn't need that last 10 minutes.
I agree. It should have been shorter. That's my biggest thing about the movie. It's like 2.5 hours long, and it easily could have been two, in my opinion. So it's the one movie this year that was longer than it needed to be, and there's two, 3+ hour long movies nominated. But that's
It
really
didn't.
the only thing I have against it. I just like, yeah, you could have told this faster.
it
and
didn't
had it be just
feel
as good.
it didn't feel too long. Besides, like I said, it got to that point. And I'm like, okay, I felt like you've told me everything. You're not really adding anything now at the end.
Yeah, yeah, it's open ended, which is good. I figured that's how it was going to be. Like 2 minutes into it, my wife's like, "You're not going to know if she did it or not by the end of it." I'm like, "I don't think so." She's like, "She did it." That was her one sentence review of the movie. She did it. I'm like, okay, yeah. But then you got holdovers in there, the plagiarized screenplay of the holdovers in second place. Which I'm like, now that that's true, I'm like, God, I really hope that doesn't win now, even though I would love if it did. Because if it wins an actor, Divine Joy Randolph, and a screenplay, then that does really put it into like potential best picture stealing mode.
Yeah.
And then you have your May December down there, and I think every single year except like one recently, there's always one lone screenplay nomination, and that's it. It just kind of sucks because I think it deserved more than that. I would have preferred to see Julianne Moore in supporting actress and Charles Melton maybe squeaking into supporting actor for that.
Charles Melton was great. He was
Yeah,
he was really great. But that was not a comedy. The Globes
well,
are
it's
out of their mind.
hilarious. Come on, it's the second funniest movie of the year after Zone of Interest. Come on.
But it is a damn good movie though. I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, it's on Netflix. Everyone go watch it.
There's an import release too for Blu-ray.
Oh, is there
Yeah.
already?
Yeah.
Right, December. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, eventually I'll have to try to buy all these. I don't think I own any of them yet because I ended up buying like 3 or 4 of them digitally just to watch them in time. I was like, well, now I don't want to buy it until the Blu-ray's super cheap because I already spent $15 buying that stupid digital thing.
Yeah.
That's why I hate doing that. All right, cinematography. Sweepenheimer, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. And Oppenheimer's gorgeous.
Yeah. This
So
could
yeah.
honestly, any of these could win. I'd be like, cool, because they all look amazing. This is actually like cinematography is always arguably the best category, like
And,
nomination wise. There's
and
usually not a bad one in
I
there.
highly disliked Maestro, but it is pretty. I'll give it that. It's
Oh yeah,
pretty.
yeah. That's the one thing you can't take away from it is that it looks amazing,
Yeah.
even if you hate everything else about it. And Poor Things
Did,
is gorgeous, and Killers
did
looks
you?
great. Oh, Conde I haven't seen yet, which is
Okay,
also on
I was
Netflix,
gonna ask that.
but it looks gorgeous. I watched the trailer,
Yeah.
and it's all black and white. I think every single one of these movies except Killers has black and white in it. And Killers does for like the opening scene where it's like a newsreel.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's all in color. But I just thought it was funny. I'm like, usually there's like one black and white movie in there every year. This year there's 4 that have black and white in it. But none of them are all, I think El Conde is the only one that's all black and white. It's a vampire movie, so at least it's worth watching for that.
It looked pretty good. I watched the trailer.
Yeah, it's cool looking. All right. Best costume. What
Poor
do you
things.
think?
Poor things.
Is that
Has
what
to
you
be.
think gonna win, or is that what you want to win?
No, I think it should. I think it should. Yes. Also, Barbie's costumes are great. And I see it in second, but like, it's based off of all actual Barbie costumes. Like they were just recreating them in human size.
In
Poor
human
things.
scale.
Yeah, Poor Things is such outlandish costumes, completely made up. They're whimsical. They're fun. It looks great on screen. It pops. Costumes and Poor Things are great.
Yeah. I want if Barbie wins something other than song, I think it will be this. But I really want Poor Things to win, so I'm kind of hope predicting Poor Things over Barbie. I think Barbie is higher in the odds because these are my predictions, not the odds.
Well,
I have
Barbie.
Poor Things, even though because I think Poor Things is winning this and Art Direction, and we'll get to that when we get there. Um, but Poor Things deserves to win because of what you said. It's more original. Like even though the costumes are replicated perfectly in Barbie, they still exist in some way. And I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
Like I never thought a Barbie as a script was adapted because there's no story adaptation there. I was considered it original as a screenplay. But the one thing it does adapt is the costumes and the art direction from the toys, which I think is
yeah,
a funny way of looking at it. So
yeah.
if you explain it that way, it makes more sense.
Almost all of the costumes are based on actual Barbie and Ken costumes. Like it's all
Hmm.
based on actual things that exist. So that's why like they did a great job recreating in human size, but it's not original. Like Poor Things, just some of the stuff she wore was crazy looking, and it looked awesome on screen.
Yeah, and it tells a story, which most people probably don't consider when they're voting, sadly. But her costumes tell her story as well, which is the best thing about them. But hopefully more people notice that,
Yeah,
and it'll win for that reason. Best film editing, Oppenheimer.
yeah,
it's, it's to sound cliche, it's a character in the movie. Uh, I don't think anything else has a chance in hell of winning editing over Oppenheimer. I won't even bother talking about it.
no,
Best makeup and hairstyling. I'm going to be crazy and say Poor Things. I think Maestro is going to win, so I'm stupid. But I'm still going Poor Things just because they have to win for it. Maestro won the Makeup Guild, but the Makeup Guild isn't voting for everyone votes at the Oscars, and Poor Things is just much more well liked. So I'm hoping that just kind of teeters it to that favor. And if Emma does win, then we have another makeup and actor combination, and that happens a lot. So how about you on that one?
I st- I think Maestro is going to because they love freaking prosthetics. They
Yeah,
love it. They
and it's
freaking
done
love it.
well. So yeah.
But I want Poor Things, so I want you to be right. But they love that big prosthetic schnoz. Oh man, they love that stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's when and it's amazing makeup. Like when it first shows him like right away and he's all old. I'm like, that's some damn good old man makeup. Like it's
Yeah,
hard to do. And the guy who's did it won like twice already, so they like him. Poor Things is just more interesting because most people are just like, oh, they only think of Willem Dafoe with his weird scarry face makeup. But I'm like, there's so much more to it than that though. Because first of all, it's makeup and hairstyling, and the hair is great
yeah,
on top of everything. But her makeup is so interesting too as she evolves through the movie, even though it's fairly subtle, but it's really cool. And Willem Dafoe's like weird body, like tumor things and stuff that are going on the whole time. His whole
yeah.
character is just weird and covered in makeup. But yeah, that's one I'm like, I was probably going to be Maestro, but that's a handful of these. I went with the second place thing just to hope
If
I'm right about
if
one
it
or two of them.
wasn't if Maestro didn't have the prosthetic makeup though, it just that's hard to beat, man. They love
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah. They love seeing an actor transformed by makeup.
Yeah,
So do I, so I can't argue with them. Tiana agrees. Let's go, Poor Things.
yeah.
She's up for vigorous jumping or whatever they call it tonight.
It but if Poor Things does not win production design,
Yeah, that's where we are.
I I'm going to lose it because
Yeah,
nothing else is even close.
yeah. That's another one where Barbie is ahead of it, but I'm like, no, it can't. No, it can't lose that. If Poor Things wins one thing, it needs to be production design because
And
holy shit, is that movie amazing looking in
yeah,
every
and
way, shape, or form.
not to mention for almost basically all of Poor Things is even when it's set in real places, it has that whimsical touch to it. Barbie takes place a chunk of it in just regular world,
LA.
and there's nothing like done to it. Like all of the production design is focused on the Barbie world, which is then based on toys that already exist. Like
Yeah,
it's just Poor Things is so much leaps and bounds better in that, like astronomically better than that.
yeah. It's. I'll be mad if Poor Things loses that one, like genuinely.
Yeah.
I would rather see Oppenheimer win than not really. I don't know. Barbie's deserving. It would make me less pissed off if Poor Things won to Oppenheimer or something. Just because I'd be like, oh, cool, I didn't expect that. But if it lost to Barbie, you'd be like, damn it. But yeah, yeah, that's the number one thing Poor Things needs to win. The penis window on the brothel alone deserves an Oscar. That's what I said the moment I saw it on screen. Another easy call. Best original score, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Ludwig Göransson, Oscar number 2. Good for him. Good nominees though, outside of
But
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. That should be Spider-Man, but you know, I won't. I've talked about that enough.
I will say so. One thing for me for scores is for this is a me thing, but I want a score to work well in the movie and outside of the movie for me to
Right.
really like it's great. Which Oppenheimer's score works well both. Poor Things score is fantastic in the movie. It's weird as hell to listen to outside of the
Yeah, it
movie.
is.
I tried. I can't. It doesn't work outside of the movie.
It's not pleasant to
No.
listen to.
It's really not. Like that's not a judging on the quality of it in the movie, and that's what matters. But I won't return to the Poor Things score. I'll return to the Oppenheimer score.
Yeah, American Fiction's got a good, fun, jazzy score. That's kind of a cool surprise nominee when that popped up. And the Killer score is solid too. And the guy who did
Yeah.
that one passed away over the summer. That's too bad. So it's cool he got nominated for it. It's just too bad it's against Oppenheimer. Which Oppenheimer just like the editing and the score working together in Oppenheimer is just like movie perfection.
I mean, if you think about it, the score is such a massive part of most of Nolan's movies.
Hmm.
Like music tells a lot of the story in his movies.
Yeah, I'm glad he finally got nominated for one of them. I don't has the score of any of his been nominated? Was Dunkirk
I
maybe?
I think Dunkirk was. I believe Dunkirk was. If it wasn't, I'd be mad because that was literally told you the time as it was going. Like it
Yeah,
cuts faster.
I think that's like the one thing that that was nominated because like none of the Batman movies were, which is bullshit to me. That was like disqualified for stupid reasons because there was like two composers who worked on it,
Yeah,
so they didn't allow it. And I'm like, but it's so good. Like Interstellar, I don't remember if that was nominated or not. It
that's
might have
for
been. It was nominated for like five. Was it?
Interstellar. Oh no, I'm just Interstellar score outside of the movie too. Perfection.
Yeah, it's so
I
good. That's why
I
I'm
regularly return
verifying
to
if
that.
it was nominated or not. It might have been. It was nominated for like five things, and I could see that being one of them. It deserved it if it wasn't. But yeah, it's just kind of funny. But yeah, his music is always great. Best song. What Barbie song's winning? I'll just say that.
Billie Eilish is gonna win.
William Eyelash. Yeah.
Billie Eilish's song means more. It's more impactful. I'm just Ken is a lot of fun though, and I is Gosling performing it tonight?
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone's performing all the songs, so that'll be
Oh,
fun.
it's worth nominating it just for that. But Billie Eilish's song is better.
Yeah. It's well, like you said about the scores, I'm just Ken outside of the movie isn't a good song. Well, what was I made for is good regardless. Like you can't
Yeah,
play I'm just Ken on the radio unless you're like, oh, by the way, here's this weird song from the Barbie movie. But it'll
yeah.
be fun as hell seeing him sing it on stage. Hopefully there's more than just him and there's more Kens. It'll be good. That's an interesting category though. And then you got the Diane Warren Flamin' Hot Cheeto song in there, which is just amazing that that's what that movie's actually about.
The trailer looked fun. I didn't get around to
Yeah.
that.
Like it's cute. Sure. And John Batista's cool. The American Symphony one. He's always good. But yeah. There'd be three Barbie songs in here if there could be, but there could only be two from one movie. If I wanted Jack Black to get in for Peaches. I know he wasn't gonna win, but that's another one. I just want to see him sing it on stage at the Oscars. That's all I wanted.
Did you see Jack Black do "Hit Me, Baby, One More
Yeah,
Time"?
that was amazing. Anything he does is amazing because he's Jack Black.
Yeah,
He's adorable. He's like perpetually a 16-year-old boy. It's great. All right, best sound, Oppenheimer.
yeah, but because I didn't see Zone, everything you're not the only person that has said sound is like a massive part of that movie, and I can't wait to actually watch
It
that.
is, yes. That is the one category where if Oppenheimer doesn't win a thing it's supposed to win, I'll be like super happy about it. Actually, Zone of Interest would be such a good deserving winner for best sound. It's so good. This is why I wish they still had two categories. Apparently, it was up to the sound people to combine it, which I didn't realize. It was up to them, so that makes me less annoyed that they did that. But Zone of Interest deserves sound mixing, and Oppenheimer deserves sound editing, and that's why it makes me mad that they combined them because they are very different things.
But
And
Oppenheimer is a totally deserving winner. It's great.
yeah, yeah, Oppenheimer is you could argue either way for those two. It's going to be one of the two, but that's like the one I'm like, "God, I kind of hope Zone of Interest pops out of nowhere and wins that, or not out of nowhere, but out of a deep, deep second place status. But the thing about the Oscars is they all like Oppenheimer, and they usually pick the obvious thing for sound, and thing that wins editing usually goes with best sound unless one or the other is so prominent in each movie that they can't put them together, like Everything Everywhere last year and Top Gun, for example. And Oppenheimer just works perfectly as a sound and editing combined winner.
Yeah.
Visual effects, the most up in the air category of the night because nothing makes sense anymore. I've only seen two of these movies, sadly. What do you think's gonna
I
win?
have. Oh no, I saw one. I saw one. I saw Mission Impossible.
Yeah, and I just watched that finally, like a week ago.
It's all right. It's a movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
I slept through parts of it and finished it the next day.
everything I've heard though on Godzilla is for its budget, it looks 10 times better than its budget.
Yeah, yeah, that's the same thing. Kind of goes for the creator. I think because Godzilla minus one is like the that's awesome. It got nominated pick, and everyone loves the movie so much right now that it might be perfect. I'm predicting it because it's such perfect timing, and everyone likes the movie so much. And usually the winner of this is like the best picture nominee or closest thing to it. And Poor Things won at BAFTAs, and it wasn't nominated here. Oppenheimer's not here. The Poor Things was nominated in place of Godzilla, and all the other four nominees were the same at BAFTA. So all it did was show that those four are pretty weak, and Poor Things still won despite not being at the Oscars. So
So
that
just
just gives like a nice little window for Godzilla to sneak in and win. The creator makes more sense because it has more visual effects, or at least as much. And the way they shot it was really cool. I still haven't seen the movie, but I've seen behind the scenes stuff about it, and it is really cool. They just shot the movie as is, and then we're like, let's turn all these things into visual effects as opposed to like pre-planning all the visual effects. It's kind of like District 9 in that sense. So it looks really cool for that reason. But I just think everyone's so fucking hyped for Godzilla, and it might have been just perfect enough timing that it'll sneak in the win. Plus, it's the first Godzilla movie to ever be nominated for anything,
yeah.
and it's his 70th birthday this year.
So one slight rant thing is Oppenheimer not being included because the whole all they go for now is it's CGI based stuff, but the idea of
Usually,
the visual
yeah,
effects category goes back well before CGI was a thing.
right,
Oppenheimer had great. It didn't have a ton of practical effects, but what it did, I mean, the fucking bomb, like they actually detonated a real bomb. Freaking the what are
yeah.
the little starry things that they did as transitions? Like that stuff is awesome for effects.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like 2001's like thing at the end, like they practically shot and filmed things.
Yeah, so I'm not for the idea that hey, it's not CGI, so don't include it. I don't like this trend, but I'm gonna go with Godzilla just because the hype behind it.
Yeah. And the coolest thing about that winning is that the director of the movie is one of the visual effects supervisors, so he'll win. So that's like the best reason to give it to it is because the director will also win an Oscar. And it's kind of like backhandedly getting it a international film Oscar in that way. But yeah, the whole CGI thing is such bunk for nominations. Best animated feature. Yeah, I'm going with Spider-Verse
I'm gonna go
just
Boy and the
because
Heron.
you're going with Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, it seems like it's been kind of back and forth a couple of times. I'm gonna go Boy and
Mhm.
the Heron.
Yeah, if it was one of the two, that's for sure. Because like the international voting bodies, like Boy and the Heron, which was like Golden Globes and BAFTA, and then pretty much everything else went for Spider-Man, and
Yeah,
it swept the Annie Awards. It won like 7 awards at the Annie Animation Awards. So like, and I think just the broad appeal of 10,000 Oscar voters voting on it would go with Spider-Man. That's just me. Had Miyazaki not won an Oscar ever before, I think that would have probably gone to Boy and the Heron just to give him one. But he's already won, and he has an honorary Oscar, so it's like they don't need to give him one. But just broad appeal of most people in general, I think that's what Spider-Man's going to get the edge out of.
I
And
think
it's amazing. So it's like there's no reason not to vote for it. It's an amazingly made movie.
it is good. I do find myself though not caring about that one as much as the first one. I liked the first one way more.
I prefer the first one because it's one complete story, which is the biggest downfall of the second one. That's the thing that hurts it the most. I think is that it's a part one of two.
Yeah,
So, but maybe all three of them will end up winning. Who knows? We'll see. It'll pull an anti Lord of the Rings.
documentary you could basically just skip. It's
Yeah,
20 days.
I'm just gonna say 20 Days of Miracle's probably gonna win because it's won everything else.
Yeah,
That's out of
it
everything
already
that's nominated.
and actually international film you could. I mean, it is Zone of Interest.
Yeah,
It's it's won it already.
yeah. It's a if Zone of Interest loses international film, if a Best Picture nominated movie loses international film, that would be insane.
Yeah. I mean, that was like what Parasite. Like you got the best international. It's like Parasite wins. Yay, we already knew that.
Yeah, duh. Yeah. So I haven't watched Society of the Snow yet though. I do really want to watch that. That looks
Yeah.
good. That's on the Netflix. And the shorts, I haven't seen any of the shorts. I don't know if you've seen any of most of them.
No.
I'm just gonna say I'm hope
Not
dicting 95 senses to win for animated short because the directors of Napoleon Dynamite made that, and I really want the people who made Napoleon Dynamite to have an Oscar because
I
that is
did watch
awesome.
for documentary short though, the book banning one. That was great.
Yeah,
Which
that's the one I have on first. I hear Last Repair Shop, most people prefer that, like, as a movie overall, but I was just lazy and kinda went with the
well,
number ones here, except for the 95 senses that I'm just hope dictating on. And the live action short is the Wes Anderson one, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar,
yeah.
which it's an easy way to give Wes Anderson his Oscar finally after 8 nominations or whatever it is.
Yeah,
So that would be a cool win.
it's almost just guesses for these, but I feel good on the book banning one though. I That was so good too, man. It's all from the perspective of the children. Like the
Oh, nice.
entire thing is told through the children on how banning books is affecting them.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was great.
That sounds good. Well, that's all of them. I was worried we were gonna take too long, and then I'm like, "Oh, wait, none of us watch shorts. That'll go quick." We do
I
this quick.
actually I a chunk of the time do. I just didn't get around to them this year because they don't make shorts easy. This is on YouTube and this is on this website and this is on this website. Oh, this one you can't really watch this one. Like they don't make
Yeah.
it easy.
Yeah, they're either really easy to find, like, they're all on Disney Plus or something, or they're impossible to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the war is over, John and Yoko animated one is probably gonna win, but most people who I've heard watch that say it's terrible. Like, it's but it's still gonna win just because it's named after a Beatle, and
A
people like
Beetle.
the Beatles. But, like, as a movie, I've heard it sucks, like, from several people, so I'm like, I hope that people actually watch it and and people vote for it accordingly, and don't just name check John and Yoko because they like the Beatles.
How
But
many
yeah,
people do you think actually watch the shorts though that are voting?
I don't know. I
Like,
mean, the people who vote for the nominations, you, like, have to be on some sort of, like, committee, I think now, or it has been for a while. Like, you have to opt to be on the nominating committee to nominate shorts and documentaries, I think. And it was animated for a while too. I think everyone could do that now. So, like, you have to make an effort to watch all of them in order to be able to vote for the nominees. But as far as the winners go, I think you can just vote for them, which is the dangerous thing.
yeah,
All right. We'll get going here in a second because we got dinner coming and the Oscars are going to be on in less than about a half an hour. And my wife was
yeah.
just calling me, so I should probably answer that. But uh, off the top of your head, how many Oscars is Oppenheimer winning tonight?
How many is it up for?
13,
11. Let's go with 11.
11. I'm going with 8. We'll see how we do after that. All right. My wife's calling again. I need to answer this. So we're going to
Okay.
end this now very awkwardly.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
Tim. I'll chat with you throughout the show as well. So
Yes. All right.
see you
Bye.
guys later.